Yo, everybody, welcome. Live stream. My name is Damien Rohrbach, the jewelry rockstar. So, we're going to model jewelry, 3D jewelry design with Blender. So, it's Saturday. I'm doing this because it's a lot of fun to model jewelry. And we have a request from one of my subscribers. He sent me a design, and he would like to know how to how to get started with that design. So, well, let's get started. When my cat stops biting my leg, that would. Okay, so obviously I'm at home. Okay, so many unscripted things can happen, like my cat is biting me. It's funny because one of my cats, well, she loves when I stream, when I record videos, she gets overly happy, so she start biting me if she finds me. Okay, anyway, so it's a bead. It's a gold bead. I can't show the design on screen right now, but don't worry. You should not know what I'm going to model. It's more fun. Let's remove the light. Okay, let's add. We're going to start with a sphere. And you know what? No, this is great. I know. Wait, give me a second. Give me a second. I'm going to turn on the. So the screencast is not on, but I will be saying almost all the important keys that I'm going to use, and much of it is on screen anyway, so don't worry too much. Okay, so we're going to start with the sphere. SZ to scale, and we're going to make this a bit thicker. Okay, the bead, if this has, it should be like 8. Okay, so let's go 8 by 14, something like this. So now this is just a reference because, oh, sorry. Okay, front view here. So hello and welcome to this live stream about 3D jewelry modeling with Blender. Okay, let's add a let's add a plane. Front view. Let's center this y-axis 0. Let's go to edit mode. Let's erase this. Okay, so let's start with the body of the bead. Okay, so this subscriber sent me a design, a video, and he wants to know how to model this. So obviously I don't, okay, this is for free. I do this for fun because they sent me something interesting. They sent me something new, something different. And it's interesting to do. Okay, but obviously I do that for the channel, for my followers, and but obviously generally this would cost quite much, obviously, because this is my job. So it's not that I do it for free. Don't get the wrong idea. Okay, let's save. Let's save. Where are we going to save this? Videos. Here, the bead video. Where is it? Modified date. Bead. So obviously, So the follower's name is Vladimir Gorev. Okay, so BEAD design. But obviously when people are very nice and ask kindly, and it's for the channel, I do this for fun. So and also I do that on my spare time. So today it's Saturday morning. I already went to an event in the morning, so I don't have well, I don't have anything special to do, and I came home early, and I said this is the right time to create this design. Okay, we have this. So we're going to create the body of the bead. Let's make a spin. Okay, spin. So the spin first, you like run the spin tool, and then you put the correct center. So at first it looks a bit scary. Okay, then we need 360 degrees, and we're going to make quite many steps, 120, like this. Okay, this is good. This is good. Let's go at this. Shade smooth. Now we're going to make Control A, all transforms. Okay, so we have this. Now let's go to modifiers, mirror, the z-axis. Okay, so the sphere is just a size reference. Okay, that's just a size reference. Let's put this here somewhere. Okay, this is great. Yes, somebody. Okay, first, hello everybody. Make some chat time. For a living, okay, I am a professional jeweler. I for 20 years, and then I teach during 17 years. I had a private jewelry and art school and design here in Mexico City. Actually, if you search on the internet, I closed the school 2 years ago. The name was Art and Jewelry Design Center. That was the name of the school here in Mexico City. And the website is still, yep, the website is still working, still up. And there it said that was found, the school was found, because it's just remaining, because you can see some of the works we were doing. So that's what I did half my life. I've been a jeweler and a jewelry teacher, and I'm a jewelry designer. So I have my own brand. Oh yes, okay, if you just put my name on the internet, it's very easy. That's my name. Okay, so I have many websites, but this is the main. So here you can see some of the things I've created. I do a lot of design. I create my own collections, and then I manufacture. But now, and that's the important part, because I closed the school, so I like retired from teaching. I only teach to very advanced jewelers and 3D jewelers. So I only teach 3D jewelry now, and at advanced levels. Okay, so and my job now is I'm a 3D modeler and 3D designer for private clients. So they send me pictures, drawings, and I make the models for 3D printing for them. I am still a professional jeweler. Too many people don't know that, but that's my core training. I've been a jeweler for 20 years. I've manufactured thousands and thousands of jewels. And now I'm a 3D modeler, because I've been teaching 3D modeling for 18 years. I started in 2004. And also there's an article in Blender Nation, Blender Nation. Let's see if I can find the article. It just came out behind the scenes. Okay, so if you go to Blender Nation, there's an introduction about me, and well, you can see a bit more about my background and what I do now. What I do now is this 3D models for private clients, and so I generally manufacture a lot less. I want to make some videos about my atelier, my workshop, my work as a jeweler, because obviously it's not the same. I say that you should never do 3D jewelry if you're not a jeweler. I say that all the time. Some people don't understand why it's so important. It's very obvious. But I mean, come on, nobody makes 3D architecture if they're not architects. That's it. I don't need to say more than that. Let's continue with modeling. That was a nice question in the chat there. So welcome. I hope I answered the question. Okay, now we're going to merge pretty far away. That's what 0.5. So this closes the shell. And I'm going to change a bit the shape. Just so Alt Z, Alt A, B, A, S, Z. I'm going to make it with a stronger, wait a second. Okay, I'm going to adapt the design a bit bigger. So I'm just scaling and selecting. So Alt A, B, S to scale this. Okay. Now I'm going to make a solidify offset 1 because it's on the thickness, and thickness something about 1. So this is going to be a gold bead. So it's very important for the bead to be hollow, obviously. Okay. And okay, so I answered the question. Thanks for asking. Thickness maybe 1.35. And yes, obviously that makes the entire channel and videos and streams a lot more interesting because I am a jeweler. So that's why the entire channel is growing that much, because people know that I have all the experience required in the professional jewelry field. I've manufactured for many people in several countries, and I teach during years, and I teach the goldsmithing part, which is all the soldering, all the filling, all the sewing, all the cutting, all the traditional techniques. And then I became more famous because I started working with big companies with 3D softwares for jewelry, and I started making videos, and well, people started liking my 3D videos. Okay, now we need, okay, so that's the thickness. It's hollow. So all the 3D models I do or show on during the streams or on the videos or the tutorials, they are made for manufacturing. There's no cheating, there's no ignorance about what we're doing here. It's made with the correct. Okay, let's go here. Actually, let's go check this thickness with a cube. So I do a lot of 3D printing. I did a lot of 3D printing. I do a lot of jewelry drawing also. Okay, so how much? 1.3. That's pretty good, because then I need to carve. So actually the offset, let's go at 0, and let's put more thickness. So it's going to be pretty thick, but because then we need to carve a lot of things into the bead. So I'm going to remove a lot of weight, and it's important to have enough thickness. Okay, so here we know And the entrance here, okay, let me check. It's pretty good. Okay, it's pretty good. So now we still need a subdivision. Okay, subdivision level 2. So the bead comes out really smooth. And let's say the core mesh is quite simple. Because you know that the modifiers in Blender, they're amazing. Okay, so this is the main shape of the bead. Let me just change the proportion here. So let's scale this because it's a bit like a an almond shape. It's somehow like an almond shape like this. So this is already pretty interesting. Okay, now I'm going to create a mesh plane. View, central Y and X. 8 here, edit mode. So this is SY. I'm going to make a small, the entrance. I'm going to make this like that. Okay, here's something important. Let's remove only the face, because when you do a spin, it's important that you don't have any inside face. Okay, spin 000 360. This is great. Okay, here let's make a bevel. This is nice. Shade smooth. 2 segments for. Okay, this is great. Now I need to check that the entrance at least has 1 millimeter. All right. So let's create a sphere and let's check. Okay, so here I do have one inside the cylinder, but let's go at 1.5 even maybe. Okay, so this, let's go to edit mode. Let's make it bigger. Here, Alt Z, Alt A. I need the entrance to be, well, I'm going to do it at 1.5 millimeters, something like this. Oh, this is nice. Okay, this is great. And let's make a mirror for this friend, which is like the guide for the wires for the bead. On the Z-axis, let's make Control A, all transforms. Okay, so we have the bead on each side. But now I need to, let's center this sphere and let's make it very big like this, because I'm going to make a Boolean difference fast, and let's remove this. This is to cut the entrance right there. Okay, so this is good. So from side to side, this is a hollow bead. Now the bead is really nice because it's a decorated bead and it's quite complex. So we're going to start with the designs on one side. Okay, so one side, front view, I guess. Front view. Now, what are we going to use? I think curves and shrink wrap. Okay, let's add curve Bezier to the view, and let's move this to the front here. Okay, so front view, edit mode. Now we have to move this there, transparency as close as possible to the border here. Okay, so here we go. And we need something like this. Maybe just, so generally I try to use as less as possible points and vertices. The cleaner you work, the better it is. So obviously this design, so like I said, this is a bead, a gold bead design, quite a complex design, a very nice design, as you'll see. And it's a request from a subscriber. Okay, let's do a shrink wrap. Okay, so here let's project on the surface, project on the y-axis. Positive, negative, are we? Wait a second. Yeah, it should be on the y-axis, but we have a rotation. So when you have a rotation, beware that the axis of the shrink wrap won't necessarily be the one you want. So let's do a Control-A rotation, and now it's correct. It's on the y positive, the projection. Okay, so I have this. This is quite nice. And here we are going to have to create the profile. So it's a pyramid shape. Let's add a Bezier circle to the view at 1.5 dimension. Okay, let's go here. So I have this circle. Let's do Control-A for the scale. Now let's go to edit mode. And here, so yes, it's the first time that I can do such an early, well, it's just midday here in Mexico City, exactly midday, 12 o'clock p.m. starting, a.m. ending. And this is great because I know that more people are connected now, and that's better for all of us. Okay, so this is the shape for this curve. Then we'll start putting names. Let's go to geometry. So we are really here to enjoy the process of creating this design, which is a gold bead from requested by Vladimir Gorev. And let's make a bevel object, and let's use this. Okay, so now we have this. The problem is that the curve is shrink wrapped. It's projected on the bead, and that crushes the geometry. So now what I need to do is that curve one, this curve one, curve design one. Okay, I have this, and let's call this one profile one. Okay, so I need to copy the design once, hide the original, and I need to apply the shrink wrap. You can apply the shrink wrap on curves, which is really great. Once you apply it, you can get this, which is the projected curve, but then you need to work the curve from edit mode, and it's not projected anymore. There are other options to do that, but in this case, I have all the control I want and need to achieve the design. So I'm going to use this technique. Okay, so now about the shape and the thickness. So obviously this is way too thick. The designs on the bead are not that thick. Okay, so we are going to need a taper curve. Okay, let's go here, add sorry, out of edit mode, curve Bezier to the view. Let's do Control-A rotation, and let's start editing. So resolution of this friend, let's go at 50, and now okay, there's a question already here on the chat. Let's go to the chat for a second. Pretty Muller. What is the correct way? What's the correct way to what? Okay, something very important all the technical questions on the channel, I only answers to super chat. Because you need to support the channel somehow, and I don't answer things just like that. That's why I use the super chat. Super chat right down there. This is obvious. But anyway, yeah. I only answer like general questions, but not about jewelry. Otherwise, you need to use the super chat. That's why the super chat was invented by YouTube to support the channels you like and that are useful to you, people of the world. Okay, so here we are. Now the tapper curve. Tapper object is this curve. And let's have a look at, okay. So here with the tapper curve, I'm going to remove it because I need to do it flat from the top view. So Bezier curve right here, and now the Bezier tapper object is here. So let's use this. Okay. So now let's start working on these thicknesses, and all right, there and right here. Okay, here. Okay, so it's basically thicker in the middle, and but not even that. I already have too much thickness. And let's go here. Let's go here. Okay, we have this. So now just a bit the shape. This comes down. It makes like a heart shape somehow. Okay, like this and this. Okay. This. Okay, this is too thick at the middle. Okay, like this. And it should be thicker here. Don't forget to fill the caps like this. For technical questions and professional questions, use the super chat. Ta-da! Okay, this is great. Now let's save this. Okay, front view. So let's keep working on this. This must come straighter and lower. So here, if I need to follow the curve and the design comes, like this is pretty good. It's pretty straight, then it makes like this heart shape. Why I say heart shape? Look at this, because if you make a mirror based on this, you start having like a heart right here. Okay, now down here we have to bring a gemstone with prongs. Okay, and let's try this. So I only have 3 control points, which is not always easy, but don't forget to check the side. Okay, so here I need this. Here I'm going to need to subdivide, because at the middle I need to follow the bead better. Okay, just like this. This is a slight correction, and this allows me to be straighter here. Okay, and here also maybe I need, okay, we'll see about that. Now about the design. Okay, then there's a flower. This is really nice. Okay, I have this, and we need also on the z-axis. Okay, and this is already pretty good somehow. And okay, I am going to need a bit more. Okay, here and there, W subdivide, because this must be on the body of the bead, obviously, right there, and like here. So are we going to have, okay, so this is This is really nice. I just want these endings to close. Okay, this is already a lovely shape for a bead. Then we have some cuts that are going to be obviously the hard parts, but it's not too hard. Okay, okay, pretty nice. Now. Okay, we have this. Now let's bring a diamond shape. So I'm going to append let's go out of edit mode, file, append. I was in edit mode, that's why I could not append. Okay, gemstones. You can find those on the Blender Market and Blender Market gemstone collection, object, diamond shape, diamond. So here we are going to see how big the diamond fits. So here I have the diamond. Let's rotate it to the front view. So that's going to be 90 degrees, 0, 0, and 0 here. Okay, so the gemstone comes here. Okay, this is pretty good. Now the size, let's see, 2 millimeters. Okay, copy and paste the scale right there. All right, so this is great for the proportion of the entire design because the gemstone has 2 millimeters, and that's a very nice size for a real life jewel. Okay, now I'm just going to adapt a bit the design. Okay, this goes lower here, so I need to create a cutter for this. So let's make it Shift D, S, Y, and I'm going to use the same gemstone. If the position is simple, I can use the same gemstone as a cutter. So let's call this one gem cutter, gem position. Let's call it gem position so we know later. Gem position, cutter, save. All right, so now let's take the bead. Okay, the bead, the gemstone is all around 4 times. Okay, so I need to check that it's true. No, it's only twice. Okay, it's twice around. So I'm going to make a mirror for the cutter here on the y-axis, and I'm going to make the Boolean cut right away. So difference fast from the gemstone. Okay, H. Let's check the cut. So if you want more faces, you go to the cutter. Let's take the cutter, gemstone cutter here, and let's make a subdivision. And let's put the subdivision before the mirror, and let's make it at 2 levels right here. Okay, so it's a bit softer on the inside. About the edges here, this is something from the normals auto smooth. Okay, now it's corrected. That's just for visualization of the bead. Okay, so this is not relevant for printing. For example, if you don't have the auto smooth, it just looks bad, which is not nice. We want it to look good right here. Okay, obviously. And this is better. Auto smooth works almost all the time. Almost, not all the time. Sometimes the topology is bad and you'll have to work on the modeling, on the mesh. Obviously, it's always very sad when the auto smooth option does not work. Okay, it is. Now let's call this bead body. This is the main shape. Okay, that's the curve design number 1, and we have a gemstone right there. Okay, already with the cut of the position. Now we have prongs. Okay, and we have to make the mirror on the y-axis. based on that, okay, because we have the gemstone on two sides. Okay, perfect. But you know what? Actually, we do have the gemstone 4 times. Okay, so I'm going to make this differently because we have it. Well, it's just 4 times. So let's make a copy of it. Shift D, and let's make it a Control A for the position, location, and let's rotate 90 degrees on Z, and now this gets an X-axis mirror. Okay, it's just 4 stones, so let's do the same with the gemstone cutter. Shift D, 90 degrees on Z. Oh, sorry. First, you need a Control A location, then 90 degrees on Z, and the mirror is on the X-axis. Okay, and now I'm going to ask also the Boolean for the second cutters. Fast difference right here. Okay, now let's hide this and hide this. Okay, so I have the gemstones. Don't forget to check that the cuts came out clean, because you know that Booleans can very easily fail. Okay, so now this design has a mirror, a new mirror on the y-axis, and it's based on the bead. Okay, so this is pretty nice already. So these are decorations on the bead. We're far from done. Okay, so now there's something very similar on the side. So on one side we have a on one side we have okay, on one side we have a heart shape, and it connects here with a flower shape. Okay, so we're going to, okay, this is great. Okay, we're going to make this new design here with the same technique. Bezier curve to the view. And let me bring the prongs. No, later. All right. So this design, we're going to bring right here. And this one makes a flower. Okay. So we're going to bring it here. Put the resolution at 50, so it's very smooth. Now let's go at shrink wrap. Let's project right there. Okay, make a Control A rotation. It's a project on the X-axis negative right there. Now let's call this curve design 2. And let's copy it. Let's hide the original, and let's take the modifier and apply it. Okay, so now I have this right there. That's the curve. We're gonna get the same profile and tapper. So object bevel is this one. Okay, and the tapper curve is, so tapper object is the first curve here, and we get this. Okay, here we're going to fill the cap so it comes out solid, and here we're going to adapt the position so it sticks out a bit more and in. Okay, so we need to follow the body of the bead right there, and this needs to come well here basically. Now here we have a problem. We need to tilt, okay, because the tip of the pyramid shape of the bevel needs to be like this. So that's what I love in Blender, the tilt, the Bezier curves, and the way you can operate these curves are very well, it's very smooth and Blender works very well. Okay, and now this actually gets exactly to the stone like this. Okay, this is great. So now also remember that the thickness I'm giving to the bead is quite much because we do need the thickness of this design. Okay, we have this, but it's like a petal. So this side of the design is hey, hello here, welcome to the stream. Hello, welcome. So welcome to the stream. So today we're making a gold bead requested by Damien Rohrbach. Okay, we have this. But wait, this is more like, okay, like an almond shape. So you're gonna see this is going to create a flower. A flower. Because we're going to make this design 4 times around the bead. And it's going to create a flower. Okay, this should be pretty good for now. Okay, now we need mirrors. Mirrors on the z-axis and y-axis, just like this. So this is one side of the flower. Now let's just check the precision. Yeah, okay, here, so it closes. Let's go on the inside, but here I'm going to need to subdivide. So let's select and select that. And let's move to the outside. So the very pretty look of the curve sticks out. Okay, this is perfect. The joint here is really good. Okay, save this. Okay, we have this. Now I need to adapt maybe the tilt a bit, especially this one. Yeah, this. Okay, this is nice. So this is one side. So now instead of projecting, making the shrink wrap and all of that, I'm going to copy this, Shift D, and I'm going to adapt the design because the other side of the flower, okay, goes to the top of the bead, which is there, and I'm going to adapt this shape directly with the Bezier curve. Okay, and now you can see that this creates a flower. Okay, so this should go a bit higher. Right here, and obviously I need to come out here. All right, this is working very well, very well, very well. This is working very well. And let's adapt that. So don't forget to check all the directions when you design something. Because generally you're just on one view and you forget to check the other views. Well, obviously. Okay, we have this, and here the problem is that I need to be lower, at least here. So here, let me see if I can come inside the metal. Always talking about manufacturing the design. Okay, the tilt right there and the tilt right here. Okay, this is great. Okay, this is great. And I need also the mirror on the x-axis. So this mirror is on all the axes at the same time. And you can see that, and that's why I'm doing this design. It's starting to look already pretty good, but this is the beginning. We still have quite some things to add, but the design of this bead is very interesting. It's not easy. It looks easy. You'll see at the end that the look is really interesting, but it's not easy at all. All right. Now we're going to add some details. We need prongs. We need prongs for the gemstones. Just 4 prongs. So for the prongs, the front view, add mesh sphere. Let's go at 0.6. Should be pretty good. Now here 0.77 and 77. This bead is exactly on the 45 diagonal of the gemstone. Shade smooth, edit mode. Let's go transparent here and let's select exactly these vertices on that side and make the prong. Okay, so don't forget that for manufacturing, the prong must stand out a lot more. This is for the rendering now. Don't forget also that, okay, and about the position, let's go 0.8 and 0.8. I do want an overlap from the prong, not too much. Okay, now I'm going to make a mirror based on this gemstone, like this, and also on the Z. Okay, on the Z won't work, but then I need another mirror for the other side based on the bead, and let's go on the Z axis. And no, sorry, on the Y axis. Okay, so I have these prongs on each side, and then for the second gemstone, the beads are a bit different. The prongs, sorry. So let's make a Shift D, Control A. No, sorry, not sorry. Let's remove. Okay, I made the copy of the prong. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees on Z, and now I'm going to copy this to Z. No, sorry. I need to come to the other side, which is here. Okay, perfect. So minus 0.8 right there. And for the position here, okay, so we need this right there. Let's go at minus. Okay, so I have exactly the same coordinate here, but on this side and on this side, the prongs are not on the diagonal. They're on the axis, directly here on the axis. So let's make a move. Let's go at 0, and this should be pretty good at 1.1. Okay, I have this. Now, for this one, I can make a mirror based on the stone on the Z-axis, the Y-axis. Okay, save. Now, let's make a Shift D, Alt C. Now, take the gemstone, Shift S, cursor to selected. Now, take the copy of the prongs, make a select origin to the 3D cursor, and rotate 90 degrees here. Okay, so this side is different, like I said. Now let's make an Alt C, Control J, and we have the prongs all together in the new position. So on one side, the prongs are on the diagonals, and on the other side, the prongs are on the axis. And that's quite neat. Just small details, but you know that details are everything. Okay, now we need a mirror based on the bead on the x-axis, like this. Okay, so we have this. So far, so good, I guess. So good so far, so good. Okay, just a small detail here. I need to change that this gets to the gemstone. This gets to the gemstone, touches the edge of the gemstone, just like this. Okay, like this. Let's check that we have the fill caps. Fill caps should be turned on here. Okay, here now the merge. Do we have a merge somewhere here? Don't merge and don't merge. You can see that the merging function is making these ugly cuts right there. This is because of the merge. So when you don't need to merge, just don't use the merge. And I have the same problem now. I need to adjust here. Okay, here. And let's come out a bit more. Let's come back. Thanks. official dog. Thanks to be here. Enjoy the stream. Today is all about 3D modeling with Blender, jewelry modeling. Okay, so here you can see the same. So I'm doing a request by one of my subscribers. This is a gold bead. I can't show the design on screen because I don't own the rights of the design, obviously. Well, let's say obviously because I don't know who made that bead, so I won't fall into that easy mistake. If you don't own the rights to a design, obviously, well, but here I don't know. Maybe it's the design from my subscriber. I don't even know. He just sent me a couple of. Actually, he sent me a video. So, well, anyway. Okay, here remove the merge also. So you can see right here we have a strange black gray area. When you remove the merge, it cleans that area. All right. Okay, so very small details. Now we need to connect those zones. Okay, so what happens now? Now there is a connection here and there. There's a curve. So actually I'm going to copy. Am I going to copy? Yes, I'm going to take this, Shift D, and let's go to edit. Okay, so what happens here? Now, between the heart shape and the other side, on the flower side, there are two connecting curves. So let's make these curves and let's go to this side. So obviously at first it's going to look a bit bad, but we're almost here with these curves. Okay, so this comes out like this way. Well, actually, thanks. Thanks. Official. I know it's 2F. Official. There you are. Thanks. Here we go. Right here. What else? Okay, so let's continue with the design. So like I was saying, this curve connects the two areas, the heart and the flower. Okay, so let's try to come exactly in at the intersection right here. Here, let's move. Let's go on the inside. Okay, so today I'm happy. I'm happy. Well, let's say I'm happy all the time, but or proud. I will be proud today. Maybe I'm even proud. Now, just because for the first time, I can make a live stream, an early live stream, Saturday midday live stream. It's a lot more interesting because people are around here. Generally, I do live streams at night, but that's not such a great idea because I'm tired. And there are not that many people around at night. So I've been trying to make well, and not necessarily on Saturdays. I think Saturdays is nice, but there are less people on Saturdays, I guess. I have to see about that. Okay, anyway, so are we sticking out? Yes or no? Yes, we are. Maybe the tilt should go a bit more there on the outside. Yes. Now, this position. Okay. So obviously I don't have to. Okay, so this is one of the connecting curves. One. Yep. This is one of the connecting curves. and this is pretty great. Actually, the design is much based on, let's go to the internet for a second. So a bit of jewelry culture, you know that, yeah, I must talk a lot more about jewelry design and jewelry history because that's what I studied the most, alongside jewelry making, obviously. And let's go to Fabergé eggs. So the famous Fabergé eggs, which are very famous Russian jewelers, and the Fabergé eggs are very famous because he started making these eggs for the Tsar centuries ago, and they're very complex jewelry, let's say sculptures, because they're quite big for most of them, and they've been made in all shapes and sizes and materials. Okay, great. Okay, so you started just reading the chat. So thanks for your answer there. Yeah, I think it's better now to use Blender because it's simpler for the license, you know. Because if you've been using Maya, many people, obviously Maya is the most famous 3D package out there, basically alongside the ZBrush and 3D Studio Max. But Maya is like the most used software in many areas for 3D modeling, but for many people, it's not necessary anymore to use Maya because it's expensive. So if you want to do it right, if you're going to be a professional somehow, you need to buy the softwares. You need to buy them. That's very important. Or use a student license, which is also nice because some softwares like Maya and Studio Max and such, they have student licenses. But never try to use a software that you don't have the rights to the license, okay? So no to piracy, obviously. We all been there, I think, especially when we were young. And but it's great that Blender has come so far in many areas that we can use Blender at very advanced professional levels. And that's also why, okay, so I'm talking about the Fabergé eggs for a very simple reason that if you look at the design that we're doing and you look at the Fabergé eggs, well, I'm not doing a Fabergé egg. Okay, this is not a Fabergé egg. I designed once a Fabergé egg like 5 years ago. But this bead, the design is similar in geometrical structure of a Fabergé egg. Okay, you can recognize the, the wiring, the design in some like this one maybe. So obviously it's not the same, and it's not a Fabergé egg that I'm doing now. But when you see that the geometry is going around, it's based on the same principle. So that's why it's always good to know about jewelry history around the world, around all the times and art history along all the human history, even very, very old times. I'm talking about 100,000 years back. That's where you can start about art history and jewelry history. And the more you know about that, the more you'll know about design and the more you'll know about jewelry. All right, so you need to study. If you want really to be a jewelry designer, actually, I am going to make a special stream about what you really need to study to become a jewelry designer, because I've seen many videos on YouTube that state that, well, phony things, wrong advices. To become a jewelry designer, you need to study a lot. You need to study jewelry, and you need to study design, art history, art, drawing, technical drawing, and architecture somehow, if you can. You need to be good at math. You need to be good at geometry, very good at geometry. Otherwise, just forget about it. You can create designs, yes, but that's not enough to become a jewelry designer. And also, most of the time, like I say that almost in every video, be a jeweler first, because first you're going to make money as a jeweler. The real money is in jewelry making the jewels, making real life gold and silver jewels, at least silver jewels. That's where the money is. That's where the real work is, manufacturing jewels. Not designing jewels is something that in fact not that many people do for a living. Well, if you want that, you need to create your own brand, but it's going to be a jewelry brand, and to make a jewelry brand, you need to manufacture your jewels. And it's better if you with your own hands, you manufacture the jewels. Believe me. It's obvious, but many people don't believe that. Okay, anyway, second, okay, now let's make a shift D. Let's move forward. There's the second connector, which cuts this area in two. And okay, so this side comes along here and ends up. Okay, so this is a right, left. Okay, so this one goes to the right and this one goes to the left, except that this one is higher. Let's go higher. So I need to adapt all the handles of the Bezier curve so that the design is inside the metal. Obviously, you can't, well, here the design has no flying parts, no loose parts. It needs to be inside the metal. And okay, this is pretty good. Okay, this is pretty good. Now we have, I need to adapt a couple of things because this, but no, this is good. Okay, so this is, okay, so let's just work on this side. Let's work on this side, like this, inside there. And I'm going to go lower for this side because this is not as thick as the other sides. It's a bit finer, a bit thinner. Okay, so, and I need to adapt this tilt like this. Okay, so you gotta love your job. Okay, anything, whatever you do, you need to really enjoy. Jewelry design is a hard work, but don't do it for the money, do it for the fun, do it for the love of shapes and structures, and because you really connect with jewelry and with people through jewelry. Okay, now let me see the design. Okay, okay there, okay there. So my design is a bit different from the original because I started lower. And make a bigger entrance there. So the tips on this sides, they're not connecting. Well, too bad. Okay, let's move this here. Okay, this is great. Now this also here. So this should be here. And a bit more to the left. There. Okay, half. Half and half. So maybe this can go more on this side. And here we are. Yes. Okay, so this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. All right, this is just the beginning because this bead has cuts, and the cuts, they're quite nice, but they're not easy at all. And for that, what are we going to use? So let's start with the cuts. No, and give me a second. On this side, I need copy this, because here we have yet, let's erase this vertex. Let's move here. There's just a straight line. Okay, so let's erase this one. Here we have a straight line coming directly to the stone. Okay, and I'm going to adapt slightly the design for my own taste, to my own taste. Okay, here, let's follow this, and okay. So there's this straight line coming here. I'm going to make it double, yes. And then we have cuts on the inside of the bead, to the inside of the bead. And then we have secondary decorations. These are the primary decorations, these wires. These are gold wires, and then we have some secondary decorations, and well, obviously that's a lot of work. Okay, on the flower, anything else on the flower? Just cuts. Okay, so here we're good to go. So I need to create almond diamond shaped cutters to cut the shape inside of the bead. Let's just close this right there. Okay, so this is great, this is perfect, but now we need the hardest part of this design. So let's go directly to the hard thing. So let's create mesh plane. We're going to create a shape to the view here. Let's take it out, and let's start designing the cutters. Okay, let's scale this, and let's go to edit mode. Okay, so we have, I'm going to erase this first, and let's start designing the cutters. You're going to understand soon enough what the secondary decorations are. Okay, now extrude. I'm going to make cutters. So the cutters, they have shapes, and the inside of the cutters, they are diamond shaped. So they're not easy to create at all. You're going to understand soon enough why this is not an easy task. Well, obviously when I do it, it looks very easy. Okay, AF. No, wait a second. Okay, so here I'm going to create some topology. At least, okay, on the inside, like I said, diamond shape. So we need a central axis here, and where does it end up? We're going to end up here. Okay, so let's close this one, and now let's make quad shapes. F, 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 F. Okay, here, F. Now I need to adapt positions right there. Okay, and let's go at F. Also F, not grab. Okay, F. The count is perfect. This is great. 1, 2, 3, 4. F. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. We have pure quads. This is great. Okay, but now, okay, so now I'm going to make a shrink wrap. There, it's going to be a projection. So make Control A, rotation, right? And we're going to project on Y positive. So this is, okay, this is what we have here. So here I need to start, let's create a new collection. Let's call this one shape cutters. Let's call them shape cutters. Okay, so this plane is a shape cutter. So I'm going to move it in the new collection. Let's call it shape 1. And this has the shrink wrap, but I'm going to make a copy, Shift D. I'm going to hide the original for if anything goes wrong, always keep the original. Now. Okay, now we need, because here I'm going to apply the shrink wrap. So let's put the origin to the geometry and let's take this friend out a bit like this. Okay, now I need to create the cutter. So it must be a solid. Okay, so what's going to happen here is that the inside here is going to come there on the inside of the bead, because this is going to cut. This is going to cut the shape. So we're going to have, let's go to isolation. The only problem here is that I need some cut right there. So let's make a cut right here and right there, because I need these parts. I need to adapt the cutter, obviously, to what I need. And let's make this lower like that. Okay, let's bring these guys there. And here I still have the same, got just a small problem there. Okay, let's move. Let's move. I need the bottom to make a, okay, so here I need to change. Let's make a knife. Knife. So I'm going to have tris. It's not that bad. Let's go here, because I need the bottom line to be the deepest one, and it needs to be the sharp center, somehow sharper center. Okay, so we're going to follow this line as the main guide. Okay, this should be, this is pretty nice. Now let's just correct the shape. Then I need to close the shape, because this needs to be a solid. And then we need to create many cutters like that for all the shapes, the secondary shapes in on the bead. The bead has many cuts and they're not that easy to do. That's why it's a lot of fun to create this design. All right, so okay, so far so good, I guess. Okay, now let's take with control, let's take all the outside vertices like this and make an F. Okay, so bad news here, we need some cuts. Okay, K for the knife. Okay, so before we close the, okay, so here we have, let's remove this edge. That edge was making too much of a problem, because with the knife we need to come, I know we can't, so we need to take this side, make a W. Okay, now let's try this. Okay, my topology doesn't have to be perfect because we are jewelry designers. It's one of the advantages. We have it easy on the topology sides for most of the designs. We don't need a perfect topology most of the time. In some designs, yes, you do need to have a very clean topology, but our job as modelers compared to game designers or character designers, we have it easier because we don't have to have a clean topology for animations. That would be a lot different. I would not tolerate this ugly topology for an animation. It would be disastrous, obviously. And we don't have to worry about textures and animations, all right? So don't lose time where you don't have to lose time. And most of the time, you can go a lot faster when modeling the jewels because you don't need a perfect topology. Well, obviously depends, because for 3D printing, depends what you have to print, okay? But yeah, you have to know that you can take shortcuts with the topology because we're creating jewels. We're not making character animation or texturing or things like that. I need the shape to be pretty for real life 3D printing and manufacturing and casting and polishing and things like that. Okay, so this is one of the first cutters. So let's go at subdivision surface here and let's go twice. Okay, now here I need to mark the edges as sharp. Mark sharp. Yep. Let's go with bevel first. Here, let's put a bevel. Okay. This is pretty good. Okay, but I am going to need a cleaner topology though. And I'm going to explain why, because I need the central axis to be clean. And let's try. Okay, so I am going to remove these. Oh, no, sorry. Delete vertices. Okay, so let's see if I can keep the central. Okay, this one, let's make a W dissolve vertex F. Okay, there we're pretty good, but we need to make, okay, we're almost there. I need the central line to be visible. Actually, let me mark this edge, mark sharp. Okay. Now let me see if I can. Yeah, it's pretty nice. So the topology is important, but not exactly in the same ways and as in other industries or jobs. You should know what your job needs, where you can go quicker, when you can take shortcuts. Okay, let's say we have this, and this is pretty nice already. So now I'm going to keep the bead and the cutter. Okay, this cutter is pretty good. I can make a shade smooth, yes. Now let's make the mirrors based on the bead, X, Y, and Z. Okay, so here we have cuts that go on the inside. So let's take the bead, and that's also where the booleans can start to fail very quickly, but it should work because my topology is really clean. And okay, we have this. This is a cut on the inside, and what's going to happen now for the rest of the design is that we have many cuts like that, many cuts. like diamond cuts, sharp cuts on the inside of the bead. Okay, and here what I'm going to do, I'm going to show the cutter again and the bead. So just the bead and the cutter. I don't, sorry. And the bead. Okay, here. If we look at the thickness of the bead, we have a lot more room available for the depth of the cutter. So I'm going to work on that because the deeper, the better. In this case, I'm going to go at half the thickness here of the bead, and that's not that much. In real life, we are making we're making like a 1 millimeter cut. This is just 1 millimeter. It's almost nothing. I mean, all right, and now I'm going to clean the cutter. So I'm going to remove the boolean for a second and remove. Oh wait. Okay. So let's work on the cutter again. Let's make it clean. And okay, I guess I took one vertex too much. This one needs to stay at the surface outside of the bead. And now I'm going to make the cutter. I need it to be better looking again. It's like a shell. Ah no, this was good. Sorry. Okay, let's move out, people. Out. All the vertices out. You stay there. Thank you. Okay, now let's check. Hey, come on, Blender. Don't make moves that I'm not doing these weird moves. All right. So on one side, okay, these needs to stay at the surface level. Outside there and outside there. I don't know why they came with. Well, they were badly selected. Okay, here I'm going to make a vertex dissolve, I guess. And okay. But I'm going to make a cut. So K, let's go with the knife. To make the same topology on the right side, topology on the left side is good. And this needs to end on that vertex there. Enter. Okay. This allows me to make the cutter smoother and also have a bit like a dome shape by taking these vertices more to the outside. Okay, like this. So you can see that I can create that rounder shape thanks to this cut. So the topology is not that random. I am creating a clean topology. And like much of you know, yes, it's generally better to keep quads also for jewelry design. Okay, and here, let me adapt something. I'm going to take this edge. Let's make an edge dissolve edge. Let's go to vertex mode and let's make a cut because I want this to end at the tip right there. This is much better. Okay. So it's funny because a moment ago I said that the topology is not that important in our field. I still going to maintain that compared to other industries, we have it a lot easier with the topology because you can get away with bad topology, especially with the booleans. We can make a lot of booleans and we won't have any problems for the manufacturing, for the printing and things like that. And and that's not the case in okay, here we have, okay, here, merge at center. Okay, this is a lot better. Okay, so this is the cutter, and I made it a lot deeper. And now we can have a look at the Boolean again. Okay, so this is one cut. You're gonna see that we're gonna have these cuts with many places. So I'm going to make the same process basically like 10 times, 20 times. And that's where the designing process, the jewelry design process, the 3D modeling becomes work, because the design is looking pretty. Yes, it's working. Yes, everything is already solved. Almost, yes, basically, I just have to make all the cutters, because we have cuts here, here, there, 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 there. All these cuts, they have different shapes, but they all have the same edge on the inside. And well, basically, to achieve that, I need to create each and every cutter one by one, because there are no automated or simple tool that is going to create me this custom shaped cutter. Okay, and every shape is different. So let's get to it. That's when the professional work comes in. That's when experience comes in, because this is how it is, and it's not interesting anymore. This is when the glamour, the luxurious part, just goes away in a second, because now my task is going to be repetitive, tedious. Well, it's quite fun, because I know the result I'm going to get: a very high jewelry customized gold bead. This is what I'm going to get. And yeah, it's, for me, it's fun, because, well, I love doing this. But if that's exactly when you're going to see the difference between a beginner and a professional, because we need very clean shapes, and this is not the moment to make it ugly. So I need to take care of all the details. So here, the axis needs to come. Yeah, actually, I'm going to separate this. So obviously, the second cutter is going to be a lot easier compared to the first one, because on the first one, I made all the mistakes, and I don't need that many mistakes. Okay, and now something very pretty is going to happen. That's why this design is very clever. The people who designed this, they are good designers, they are good jewelers. It's super obvious. It has all the good ideas for a jewelry design, all the good shapes, all the pretty things where and when they're needed. So the person who designed this bead made no mistake at all. Well, obviously you can always make things better, or adapt to your needs, whatever, but this design is very clever. Okay, why? Because if you see that there are parts that are not going to get the cuts, and that's going to create the secondary decorations, and that's very important, because it's part of the process, it's part of the design. And we're going to have a second set of shapes also in yellow gold, because the background is black. It's a black enamel, and the edges are yellow gold. So it's really, really pretty. And for that, we need the cutters. So basically, I don't even need to project the shapes. But yes, I am going to shrink wrap anyway. So before I project, I need to remove. Okay, so I'm going to create. First, I'm going to create all the cutters. Then I will do the booleans at the end. That's very important because I have many things to project and I have many booleans. So it would be a mistake to make the boolean first because I could not even project anymore or shrink wrap. Okay, location. This is a project on the X positive. No, sorry, it's the Y positive. Wait. Y positive. Yeah, Control A rotation. Let's make origin to geometry. Thank you. Okay, now let's make an Alt C. And this is the shape of the second cutter. Okay, so now I'm going to make cuts. Vertical there and there. Okay, this is great. Now I just need to take all the inside friends there and let's go deep. And now let's take these and let's go deeper. And basically this is already creating the shape of the second cutter, just a lot faster because I know exactly where I need the topology. On the first cutter, I did not know exactly what kind of topology I needed to create the shape, but now that's solved and it's a lot funnier. It's a lot funnier because in fact, it's not that tedious. Once you know exactly what you need to replicate, even if you have to do it, I don't know, 20 times. I don't know exactly how many cutters I have here. Okay, we have this for now. So let's make bevel right there. And let's make subdivision surface right here, level 2. Okay, I need to close. I forgot to close. I need to close it because it's a cutter, so it needs to be solid like this. So even if the outside face is not pretty, that doesn't matter as long as it is and stays outside of the shell to make a clean cut, a clean boolean. All right, so I have this, and actually I can make Control J because we have these cuts on each side. Okay, now I'm going to make a boolean test. So I'm going to make the boolean test from here and then. Okay, H. Okay, the cut is clean, but there's something that I need to correct right away, is that that cutter must intersect the other line exactly here. Here, this must be exactly on a straight line because it's where the first cutter intersect with the second cutter. So this is shape 2. Okay, now I know it's funny. Well, anyway, shapes. Okay, edit mode. No, sorry, edit mode. Save. Okay, so here I need to take this. Let me remove. Okay, let me remove the boolean. Otherwise, it's not fast enough. Okay, and I need to work on that intersection. Okay. So I'm going to use this second cutter must intersect mostly on a straight line. So, and then we'll correct the details here and there. Okay, so here we can already correct this. If the vertices are too far apart and you have a subdivision somewhere, you are going to get corners. You see there the corner is because the distances, see, just look at this. When you move it, there I have a bad corner. That's because of the subdivision and the bevel also, but that's because of the modifiers, all right? So you need to know that. Okay, now also something that can be corrected. Let's correct the shapes for a second. And here, there, even the first cutters. Okay, I don't need sharp edges, so let's make smooth edges, but smooth faces. Because most of the time, the smooth does apply to the Boolean. Okay, let's remove this. Okay, so now I have that problem. That the cutters are not working for the Boolean. So let's make a remesh on the cutters and we're good. Okay, so we're already a bit better, but I need the second cutter to go further down. Here we are already starting to intersect on the same line, and they're not big enough, okay? So let's correct that. And so at first I'm taking my time, I'm taking the time to be more careful with, wait a second, I'm going to take all this line, and this line can go deeper. So I really need to intersect. Okay, this is too far. So if you can't get the right shape, okay, with the vertices you have, you will have to make more topology, okay? That's something you have to know. Okay, and if they're too close, you get bad topology. All right, so are we intersecting? Yes, the intersection is better. Yes, I think. But obviously, when you're working with Booleans, you don't always exactly know what shape it's going to take. Okay, so I need this to be sharper also here. Mark this line. If I can align the cutters, you see the central line is part of the design. That's what makes this bead a bit harder to design. And like I said earlier, that's what makes the design so clever. And that's actually why I know that the person who designed this is a good jeweler, not just any random jeweler. Okay, now this. Okay, I want the sharp line. Okay, and then also there's the shape of the edges that I need to check. All right, are we good here? Yeah, well, I need to test. Okay, so on the outside, they're not that pretty, but on the inside, they are sharp, sharp and pretty. Okay, H, and the remesh on the cutter. So that's why it's not that much of a problem. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. The only thing I want to change is that this part of the cut is too straight. This part of the cut, actually, if I go at a better retopology, a remeshing, sorry, a better remeshing there, and we can see, okay. So this is starting to work pretty well because we have the secondary decorations, which are these Gothic shapes here and there. That's part of the design. And that's amazing, actually. Okay, now let's continue. Let's continue. Okay, so here I need to go more on the right. It's or the left, depends on what side you're watching. Okay, this is good. And now here, this is too straight, and this is because of this. Okay, and who else? Okay, this is better. Now let me see. Can we? Yes or no? Let's lower this. This should be better. Okay, and I wanted this color to be wider. It's this one. All right, so well, I'm going to start doing all these colors. It's going to be quite fun anyway. Okay, now, yes, it's this side that I want to be. On this side, you get a stronger curve, and this side should not be that flat also. Okay, yes, great. See, that should be pretty good. Okay, let's go again. Remesh. The remeshing can be at a pretty high resolution, honestly. Boolean. Fast. Hide. Okay, okay. Now. Okay, let's take the shapes and let's work this out even more. So what I'm going to do is that I am going to bring these lower. It's fast enough. I don't have to remove. Okay. So I need to correct the details already. Okay, so okay, this is starting to look pretty good. The only thing I don't like is that the bottom of this cutter is not round enough. Okay, so let's see if I need. Let's make an H. Okay, here I very probably need a cut. So let's make a cut right here. And let's take these friends out because that side needs to be rounder, honestly. And these are already final shapes, so I really need to correct them right away. It's very important to understand that. I could maybe even do a smooth modifier also. I'm going to try to avoid that. If I can avoid the smooth modifier, I'm going to avoid it as much as possible. Now here, I don't want this line to appear, so let's see if I can bring that closer. Okay, this is smoother already. That's pretty nice. And now it's okay, it's smooth on every side. Let's go out. So when you hide something in edit mode, it only hides in edit mode. Oh, wow, this is very clean. So what I was explaining, we're designing a gold bead requested by a subscriber, Vladimir Gorev. It's a gold bead and black enamel bead. It's a very high-hand bead. Okay, so it's hollow. It has primary decorations, which are these wires. And actually these wires, let's start applying the materials. Let's start creating materials. Okay, I'm going to append a gold material from any scene. From this scene. Okay, material gold. I need just the gold. Okay, so this is going to be yellow gold. So you can already start seeing that the design is really high-end. I wouldn't say high jewelry because it's not that complex on the amount of gemstones. We only have 4 gemstones on this design. Okay, so all that is yellow gold. These are going to be black diamonds, so let's append. Okay, let's go to the colored asset. Okay, if you don't have this asset, the colored gemstone procedural gemstone asset with inclusions, you should buy it on the Blender market because I have basically all the gemstones. Here we have black diamond. So these are going to be black diamonds. Black diamonds. So let's go at viewport display. Let's go to black. Well, maybe not that dark so we can see something here and there. Okay, here. Now, let's start correcting the beads. You see that the depth of the bead is not enough anymore because of the cuts. Okay, so let's do that. And also what I'm going to do then is that this bead axis, I'm going to make it diagonal. So -15 and -15. So we keep exactly on the diagonal right there. No, even more. Well, it depends then on the inside. So okay, so okay, that's correct. Okay, let's go there maybe again. 0.07, 0.07. So always the same amount on each axis. Let's hide the gemstone. Okay, the prong can come on the inside. It's better than on the outside because when we set the stone, the prong is useful and we clean the area with a burr when setting the stone. So this is much better than having the prong on the outside, okay? And I'm going to do the same here, am I? I think, no. No. Give me a second, I need to check the design. Okay, yeah, maybe, but later. Okay, so the prongs are corrected, and this is going to be gold. No, this is not. No, this won't be gold. This is black enamel. So I'm going to copy the gold material, and this is black enamel, which is really nice. Hey, that's cool. Okay, will do. Okay, great. Yes, I will do more LuxCore tutorials. Yes, nice question. That's true. Actually, there's one coming in next week's. Well, not next week. I don't know, but soon. Because I'm making with Octane and with LuxCore also, I will be doing a rendering tutorial. And maybe for this one, actually. Okay, this is yellow gold. Gold and the background. So this is black. Let's go at 0.1. And the viewport display also is going to be, well, 0.2, not too dark so I can see the difference. But that's so you understand that this design is pretty nice. Okay. So we have this. So we have already 2 cuts. And now we have cuts on every part of the bead. We have these cuts. Okay, so the cutters, as you can see, are not, well, it's not that hard because I already found the solution. I already found the solution to modeling the cutters, but each cutter and each side of the bead has a different cut. Okay, so we can count, and some have two. Some have two. Okay, so here by example, I had two cutters for this zone. For the top zone here, also, I have two cutters. Okay, so they must be shaped to each side of the bead. So let's continue. And actually it's quite fun because it's looking great. And then we have the secondary, actually let's do that. Okay, add mesh, view, to the view. Let's put it out. This is going to be yellow gold. Actually, let's call this one yellow gold. Yellow gold, no, yellow with an A, please. Where's the E? Yellow gold. Okay, here we go. So what's going to happen then is that we're going to have secondary decorations on the side of these. Okay, so here I'm going to make a clean topology. So first I'm going to move this to the side here and make this edge. Okay, now I need this entire border extruded at least 3 times. Okay, and now I need to adapt the curve to the outside shape, not the inner shape anymore. So let's go here. Okay, okay, and this is much it basically. Okay, right. Shrink wrap, yes. Target is the bead. Okay, it's a project. It's on our Control A rotation. It's on y-axis negative. Okay, this is pretty good. And let's just use the solidify thickness 0.7 and 0. Okay, here. So let's go at 1.5, 1.7. Okay, let's try this. Even a bit more. Let's go at 2. And okay, we have this and subdivision surface. Level 3. Okay, and because I want it sharper, I need a bevel just before this, and this is great. Let's go maybe at 2. Now 1 is pretty good, but maybe at 0.2. Okay, so this is exactly what we're going to get. Cuts and secondary decorations. And actually, let me create a new collection. Secondary decorations. So naming is important. This one and secondary design 1. Okay, we have this, and then we have mirrors. Okay, mirrors. Where's the mirror? Mirror based on the bead XYZ, because it goes on every side. Okay, so this design, this bead design is really outstanding. It's an amazing design, and they wanted to know how to do this kind of 3D model, and it's a lot of fun to do because the bead just has an amazing look. All right, so I'm going to make another one. I'm going to copy it, go to edit mode. I'm going to move, obviously, first is going to fail entirely, but let's say I'm going to take this vertex, Control I, delete, and now I'm going to build the new edge on this side. Okay, and let's make this design here. I'm going to correct the first design also a bit later. Okay, here I can adapt to my design. Okay, so here the topology, I'm going to do it by hand. I mean, creating all the faces equally in amount. Talking about this face, face, F, 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 F. Okay, F, F. Now, let's take this and let's extrude on X. And okay, here I can make an SX0 to make it straight. And this is great. Here I'm going to adapt the design a bit to my taste, because the original follows exactly the edge everywhere, but it's just that I want this side to be a bit sharper, like this. And I think this side also I'm going to adapt a bit so it blends a bit better. Okay, I even have an idea. I think this edge, I'm going to bring it here. Actually, this is something, yeah, a bit nicer, just slightly adapted to my topology, to my bead. All right. Okay, great. Well, thank you for your thanks for your comment. Like 2 hours later, sometimes I just forget to read the chat. Okay, so just answering the chat. All right, so they were asking for more tutorials about LuxCore rendering, and yes, I will be making more tutorials with LuxCore. Okay, so it's nice to know that people are interested in LuxCore render engine. It's one of the best engines. Many people worry or say that LuxCore is slow. Mainly it's because they don't know how to use LuxCore. Obviously, it's slower, a lot slower than CycleX. But the quality is different. We still can't get the dispersion and the caustics in CycleX. We can get now the caustic shadows and some caustics in the new CycleX 3.2 and 3.3. But we are not at the LuxCore level for realism when it comes to caustics. So I need to use LuxCore in some areas of my work. There's nothing better. Even Octane is, well, the new Octane, yes, but I think the Octane Blender still hasn't the new functionalities of the new Octane, because Octane now has the metallic caustics rendering and fast, well, which is as fast as LuxCore, but yeah, I need LuxCore in from time to time because the quality of LuxCore is great and at a very good speed because LuxCore uses all your GPUs. I mean, like cycles, obviously, but the problem, by example, with Blender Octane is that the free version of Blender Octane only uses one GPU. You can't use, if you want to use more GPUs with Octane for Blender, you need to buy your license, which is not a bad thing. I mean, but I don't need that much power. Well, I don't need that much rendering tools because my main work, my line of work is 3D modeling. So I just need pretty fast renders, and for that I use Cycles X for fast rendering. But if I want very high quality, I need LuxCore. And I prefer LuxCore than Octane, honestly. Octane does, well, the quality of Octane is amazing, but there's the problem that it's not justified in my line of work to buy Octane or Lumion. The most expensive, if you don't know, actually one of the best, well, Lumion render engine is considered the best render engine for architectural visualization. And it's true, I think it is the best. But have you seen the price? Buy online. It costs, I don't know how many thousands euros or dollars. Here it is. The pro version costs 3,000 euros for a render engine. So obviously the target is architectural studios, very high-end and professional architectural studios around the world, and the price is very correct. You need to know that. By example, for jewelry softwares, jewelry design, if you want a professional jewelry system, I work with Design. Design is a French. Design CAD is a French software. Ah, hello, Vladimir. Vladimir, welcome. So here I'm modeling the bead that you asked. This is great. Actually, it's looking great. I'm very happy to be doing this live stream. So where do I answer? Hello, Vladimir. Vladimir, welcome. Thanks. I am very pleased with the design you submitted. Okay, so this is great because the subscriber, Vladimir Gorev, who asked for this design, this bead design, is now on the stream. So great. Thanks for your comment. Okay, so I was just talking about the professional softwares. So the best render engine, actually considered the best, is Lumion, because it really has all the most recent mathematics for the light effects. And well, the price tag is 3,000 euros, which is a bit more than dollars. And that's normal. That's a correct price for a professional software, because an architect with this kind of software makes a lot of money. Okay, so the price tag goes with the amount of money that you can do. Now, for 3D jewelry softwares, like I'm working with redesign CAD every day. Also, I use Blender also a lot, and actually I do give money to Blender Foundation. Well, because yes, I donate, and I also donate to LuxCore. Well, but with redesign, I'm a representative in Mexico, and I'm an expert trainer. So obviously, tree design costs from $3,000 to $7,000 because the target is the jewelry industry, mainly the jewelry design studios. And obviously, we make a lot of money designing jewels, and the tools to make professional jewelry design, they're very expensive, but that's because when you create and sell jewels, you're supposed to to be making a lot of money. So obviously, if you're making very cheap, I don't know, pewter or brass jewels, and each jewel you make, you sell them $100. Tree design is not for you. These kinds of software are for jewelry designers and jewelry makers, and obviously the price tag reaches up to $7,000. But that's very normal. It's not that the software is expensive. You need to understand who the target is. Tree design is for a very specific level of jewelry and people making a lot of money already. So when you buy tree design, you are going to make more designs, you're going to manufacture more jewels, and it's a lot faster than using Blender. Even with the Jewel Craft add-on, even with many add-ons, Blender is not fast enough for very specific tasks. But Blender is Blender. Blender, you can use Blender for anything you like, and you don't have to invest the same kind of money. But obviously, if you're very specialized in your field, you need professional tools. So Blender is very professional, but it's also very general. You can do anything you like with Blender. You can even program Blender because it's open source. So that's very different. So anyway, I was just talking about price tags in some softwares and render engines. Okay, so I'm here making the new cutters, and this is great. Okay, so I'm going to create the new cutters for the top part. Okay, so here it's the same. Add mesh plane to the view, to the front, and I'm going to create these cutters. So it's very similar in concepts here. Now I'm going to keep creating cutters. So I'm going to make, wait, the central line first, which is the base of the design. All right, so here we are. Let's go up here. Now let's extrude once, make SX0. Okay, and let's adapt the shape. Yeah, let's adapt the shape. Okay, this is great. Okay, so it's very similar in, and I'm going to try to make it maybe even simpler using just 3 ranges instead of 5. If I can, maybe, yeah, I think it's possible because the shapes, they're in fact not that complicated. Just that I need to adapt each cutter to each zone. All right. So this is great, and let's keep on creating this design. All right, so I have this. Now let's make a modifier, shrink wrap. Okay, shrink wrap right there. It's a project on the y-axis, Control A rotations. It's a -y, and let's make an Alt C right away. Let's take everybody a bit to the outside, and now let's take these guys as deep as possible, exactly like this, the other cutters. The only difference here is that I'm only using 3 ranges. We'll see if that's enough. I think I tested that at the beginning, but anyway, sometimes I like to test again to make things as fast as possible. Okay, we have this needs a bevel and then a subdivision surface. 210. All right, and let's do a remesh also, just because, so they look cleaner. Okay, so now let's add the boolean of the new shape cutter. It's going to be this shape. So I want to see if I'm deep enough. Yes, that's nice. So 3 ranges. Okay, so that's going to be great because that means that I only need 3 ranges. So that makes the design even faster to create. Okay, let's go to edit mode. Let me see if it's fast enough. I have the boolean turned on the cutter there. Is it fast enough? Okay, no, it's not fast enough. And also I need, okay, so let's take this there. Let's remove this boolean. Yes. And let's detail this. Okay, the difference here is that I want this to be more on the outside. So here I can come close to the edge and have a look at the shape that is going to be cut. Okay, here where the intersection is. Okay, so this is pretty neat here and there. Let's go higher here. So we reach further. We reach further here. Okay, so there's still, okay, let's go there. This is nice. And also I want to adapt the central line. So like I said at the beginning or earlier, sorry, the central line is part of the design. It needs to be sharp. The button here, the bottom of the cutter is sharp. That makes that diamond cut at the bottom of the these cuts. All right, so this is very important. Okay, anyway, we need mirrors first. Mirrors right there. Mirrors on X based on this XYZ. Okay, this is neat. So now I'm going to make an A, Shift D, R. Sorry. Where did it go? Shift D. Okay. Here, and I'm going to, because the second shape here is very similar to the top one, so I'm going to make a copy, and it's almost the same cutter, honestly, but smaller. So I'm going to adapt it to this side like that. Okay, the main difference is that, well, I need to adapt this curve we must be able to see it from the front. Okay, or from an angle, but it needs to be okay, this is thicker. Okay, on X. Okay, so I can go pretty much further. Okay, so this is if you're just joining the stream now, this is pretty great because it's a subscriber. He sent me a very nice email. So thanks to Vladimir Gorev. And actually, he came to say hi in the chat a moment ago. And he sent a very nice design asking for help about how to get started with this kind of design. So it's a gold bead, but it's quite advanced. So obviously I already solved the design. Basically it's already solved. I'm just making all the cuts now and the secondary decorations. The render of this bead is going to be crazy good. Okay, now the boolean, the second boolean here. From this, so eyedropper, let's take this and let's hide it. Okay, the shapes are pretty nice. There are a couple of things that I need to correct. This curve is too much on the right side, and that curve here is too much on the left side. But it's pretty interesting also already. Then we have some decorations again here and there, which is always nice. Okay, so let's remove the boolean. All right, so the color's second shape. All right, here I need, okay, this is very clear here what we need. We need this to come a lot more to the other side. Actually, I needed, these looks a bit like leaves, all right? So, okay, like this. Okay, now here, let's try to, and they're on the same line. That makes also this design, where same line or same curve. I don't know if I want them curved or, okay, so who is going to, okay, this guy, okay, perfect. Yeah, the intersection of the colors are not nice enough yet. That's one of the main problems in this design, the intersections of the colors. All right, so like I said, you need to adapt because of the subdivision surface and how it works, which works really nicely, but you need to adapt to the fact that if the vertices are too far apart, you are going to get bad corners because mathematics can't always find a perfect solution to your smooth intentions. You need to adapt the distances. Okay, we have this now. No, wait, it's that one. All right, here, there, are we good? Looks good. And I think this is still too much on that side. Well, let's make another test. Boolean. So fast. Well, I don't need to remove the boolean each time. I'm going to leave it. I'm just going to remove the object. Okay, H. Okay, this is pretty nice, but, well, this is a lot nicer. The only problem I have now is that the color on the bottom is too much on the right side, and that's not good. Okay, so removing this for a second and correcting this. Okay, so the difference is that it must go more on the left side, and this is too far. This is too far to the right. Too far on the right. Let's remove this. And here I can go more on the left side. Slightly. Okay, let's check the correction. So I can't leave the Boolean to be live, because if the Boolean is on, the software is too slow. That's a bit because of my CPU, but my CPU is actually the best of the last generation, so it's not that much because of the CPU. Okay, the cutter is still too much on the... Okay, so I'm going to rotate it and move it to the left. It's too much on the right side. Okay. But now I have a very good workflow with these cutters, so we shouldn't have that many. Okay, this is perfect. This is perfect. So here also what I'm going to do is that I have the first set. Okay, sorry. The first set of cutters. Okay, so we have shapes. These shapes. Now I can take that and make a Control J to make all the cuts in one same object. So the Boolean works at once with just one group of shapes for the cuts. Okay. So this is already pretty good. We're almost there. Let me give just a second. For how long have I been? 2 hours. Okay. So I'm going to be 30 minutes more. I hope I can finish this design. It's just finishing the cuts, honestly, and making the secondary decorations. So this is great. This is great because this design is really interesting, very attractive, and it's one of a kind. Okay, let's make an adaptation here. So let me take this vertex, Control I, delete. Now this is a secondary decoration. So I'm going to make it exactly like I did the other ones, which is making the topology by hand like this. So I'm going to extrude, 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 extrude. This is very easy. And then make every face. F, F. The modifiers are already turned on. F, F. Okay, here I missed. I make this, so I need a new subdivision. F to keep the quads. Remember to keep only 4 vertices. F. Okay, so I have this. This is great. So I'm adapting a bit the shape of the edges of these decorations to have it my way, basically. Okay, we have this. Now Shift D to move it there. So always, I'm just keeping one vertex, erasing all the other ones, and extruding and making the new topology for the new shapes around the cuts. Okay. So here, let's come down there. Now here I can do this with Control. I take all of that, extrude on X, make an SX0 to make everything straight. And now I can adapt. Let's adapt each vertex to its position on the X-axis. So the this is a shrink wrap, so let's see if, okay, this is great. Obviously I need to adapt every position here and there. Okay, and I'm going to adjust here. So the original is a bit different than what I'm doing here, because like I said, on the original, these edges follow the design all the time. Okay, so now here, because it's a projection, I have to find the shortest distance. Okay, this is great. I think I'm going to come here. Okay, this is great. Here I am going to follow the edges a bit better, as good as I can, because it's a straight projection. So this creates some limitations on the shape. I could use another type. You could use a closest wrap instead of a straight projection to solve this issue and follow the edges with more precision if you have to. That's why I love the shrink wrap modifier, because it gives you a lot of control on the shapes you can create. Okay, and there are many solutions. Okay, so we have that decoration there. I'm still not happy with this thickness here. This is too thick, and this is too straight. I prefer a curvier design. So let's come here. Okay, here I'm limited by the decoration and the edge. All right, so I'm saying this. Okay, is that good? This is great. Just at the top, I still have this part. Okay, great. Nice. Nice. We need okay, so this is one side. This side is done. This side is done. This side is completely done. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. And but like I said, I still have 30 minutes roughly, so I can complete. Let's start working on the other side, which is the flower side. Let's have a look at the design. Okay, so we have some cuts there also. Yes. Okay. Okay, this is great. This is great. This is great. Okay, nice. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. So this is a bead. Okay, so we have cutters here. Let me see if I'm going to project from this side or from that side. I think already from this side. Okay, so cutters, shape cutters. Add mesh plane to the view. And I'm going to project from this side. So here we also have two cutters making like two petals. So let's go here, delete, and let's create this shape. So again, I create the central line first of the cutter, and now I'm going to make an SY. No, sorry, extrusion on the y-axis, please. Thank you. and we already saw that I just need 3 ranges. It's enough topology for this. So extrusion on the y-axis, and with this we create the entire cutter. So they're like almond shaped, or yeah, this is pretty good. Okay, so this is one cutter. This is nice. This is very nice. Okay, and what else? Yes, here it's time for a shrink wrap. Here. So project. The wrap type is project method. And it's on surface. Yes, it's X positive. Do a Control A rotation. Now let's do an Alt C. Let's take everybody out a bit. Let's take these friends. Deep. That's the depth. Okay, let me take the cutter and the bead, and only that, so I can visualize this, the depth of the thickness. Okay, so this is too deep. Here. All right, now let's make it a bit smoother. There. And let's close the outside. So let's select these with Control all around. Yep. Okay, this is good. This is one. Let me have a look at this shape, because this. Okay, let's make a bevel and let's make a subdivision. Okay, so this works again. This is great because I have a lot simpler topology than earlier, but it's working. Okay, subdivision level 3. Okay, let me check something for these cutters. Okay, the first cutters are these. What level of subdivision do I have? 2. Let's go at 3. I think. Let me check that. Yeah, it's a lot cleaner for the boolean. Super nice. Super nice. Okay, so now here I need to adapt the shape like I did earlier. Because remember that this is going to be a boolean. So okay, we can adapt position. This can go a lot higher and a lot further. Okay, and this friend also can come further because we have the space to do it. So let's do it, because the more I remove, the more weight I remove, and the better, the sharper the cut, the deeper the cut, the better it looks in this design. So let's take advantage of this. Okay. But here I'm still too far away from the yellow edge, the yellow gold edge here on the inside. I'm talking about that. So let's adapt, you know, and this should be, this is pretty good. Okay, and the rest, because we need to take the zone as much as possible. Well, not necessarily. It's part of the design. This is part of the design. So let's adapt. Okay, super nice. Okay, this is going to get also the mirrored. Here, there, XYZ. Okay, this is on the 45 rotation axis there. Okay, or side. This is not the left side or the right side, is on the diagonal axis of the design of the bead. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so now this, I'm going to add the Boolean to test this new shape. Okay, and we're good, but we're too much on the left. Okay, the cut must be more on the right side. So let's erase this Boolean for now. Okay, let's go back to the cutter, and it's this one. Okay, so here. That's funny. Okay, let's take everybody to the right. Actually, because I can't do that, can I? Okay, but let's move it on the X and the Y axis. And it's funny because the distance varies very quickly. Okay, so here I can adapt to be very close to the border, which is a bit nicer also in this design. Yes. Okay. So now again, I have a very similar cutter. So I'm going to do an A, Shift D, and rotate. Obviously, at first it comes out badly. Then hit rotate twice, so you can make a gizmo rotation, or a gumball rotation. It's called, I think, when you rotate around all the axes at the same time. Okay, and here I'm going to adapt the cutter to this zone. So that's a bit more work. Okay, and where are you here? Okay, this is great. Let's follow the edge of that part. Okay, let's go here, let's go there. And then we have, okay, this is great. Okay, here I'm going to follow the edge, but here not that much, because there's a secondary decoration also, the yellow gold decoration, the secondary decorations. All right, how good are we following? This looks great for now. Okay, so I'm going to take this and all the other cutters. No, wait a second. First, let's make a new Boolean test, because once I join them with all the other cutters, well, it must be done, it must be finished. So before I join the cutters, okay, let's try the exact cut. Sometimes the Booleans, but I need a remesh, sorry. Whoops, that's a Boolean error. Okay, this plane here, these cutters, they need a remesh, because now I have two cutters. Okay, so overlapping. Here we are. Okay, this is perfect. This is great. So now I can join them with all the other cutters, and that's the workflow for the entire, for all the remaining designs on the bead. And this is quite cool because it's not that hard, and it looks amazing. Okay, now this H. Okay, so we can see. Thanks. Thanks for your support. Yeah, it's great to see that people enjoy my work, my channel, and all of that. It's really nice to find, okay, to find a public, an audience around the world. Hello, everyone around the world. To support my work, to support the channel. People become members, they buy assets, they send me designs, and they give me work, you know, 3D modeling. That's my main job now. Okay, so here I just have a small problem that I need to correct. These colors, I hadn't seen that. I know, but that's nice. Okay, this is great. This is great. Okay, now we need secondary decorations. So let's make this. Let's copy this here. So this is a shrink wrap, but I need to change the axis. The axis of the shrink wrap is on the x-axis positive now. Okay. Now edit mode, I'm going to keep only one vertex. So Control I, delete all the other vertices. And I'm going to create this secondary decoration right here. So extrude. Here I'm going to follow the edge precisely. Here. Now down here. Don't confuse the shrink wrap curve with the actual edit curve. They're not the same. Okay. And let's make an. Okay, now I'm going to extrude and make the rest of the topology by hand, like I did before. Now, basically, all the rest of the process is the same that I've been doing for a moment now. So I think there's nothing. Well, actually, I could end the stream already because I solved the entire design already. There won't be anything new. But if you're joining the stream, what I'm doing today is a gold bead. It's a design that a follower sent me, and the design is really nice. It's a gold bead with black enamel and black diamonds. There are not many gemstones on this design. We only have 4 gemstones around, but the bead has very special cuts. Okay, you know what? Here I need to adapt this. I'm just seeing this right now. Okay, here I'm going to do something about the topper of this. Okay, so the follower sent me a video of a special bead. Wanted to know how to model, and that's why we are here. Okay, here I'm going to make a multiply on the tapper because I need less thickness here. Okay, this is great. Okay, this is perfect. Now I just need to adapt this decoration there. This decoration here, thickness. Okay, I need to adapt that this needs to come on the inside. Okay, like this is great. Okay, so let's keep this. So this was a request from one of my subscribers. So obviously, like I said at the beginning, don't think that I do this all the time for free, because well, basically I don't do this for free, but when it's for the channel, yes, I do this for free. Just because people are nice, and that's great. So I'm doing this for free, but well, obviously I'm doing this for the channel. but also I do get a lot of support. So and then also people are very kind and support my channel. Every time I do a design for free, uh, and when it's requested by a follower, they always support my channel with a lot of publicity for my work, and everybody's happy. So basically, but don't ask me to do this for free just because yes, I do it from time to time when people send me interesting emails and stories, like when somebody was getting married or things like that. Well, that's when I help people. But basically, you just too lazy to do your own work. Obviously, I won't do your job for free because my job is to make 3D models, and people pay me to make the model. That's my work. That's my job, and I need to well, I still need to make money. I mean, I'm not rich at all. Okay, so don't get the wrong idea. I still need to work. Obviously, less than before because I already worked quite much. But anyway, um, okay, now let's see if I can make, okay, I can make this directly in the same design. Okay, perfect. Let's make this. Well, I don't know if I made things clearer. Maybe not, but yes, I hope so. I mean, so this is something that a subscriber required. He's not paying me to do this. I do this because, well, it's always nice to be nice. No, it's not always nice to be nice. The problem when you're too nice to too many people, yeah, people are going to take advantage of you in bad ways. That's not the goal. And don't think that I'm like that. I'm nice because I know that I can be nice to some people when I please, when they are nice to me, and also because, well, most of the people support my work and make my channel grow and buy my assets. They also help uh, as good as they can. They become members of the channel, so they support my work through YouTube and the earnings of the channel that are not very high. Well, they're almost not existing right now because the channel is not so big. The channel is growing because actually YouTube is recommending little by little is recommending my channel, and the segment of my channel is very original, so this is nice already, but I can't I can't really say that I'm making money with the channel yet. This is, I mean, that the channel is not that big enough yet. But well, we're here to grow anyway. So one of the very nice things that I can do on my channel is that when nice people send me interesting emails and requests, I can do them in tutorials or live like today, because also I kind of enjoy making the live streams because I can make 4K 60 frames live streams, because when a couple of years ago I was able to get a very high-end, well, my internet is decent enough to make a live stream in 4K at a very excellent connection, and I'm very glad of that. Sometimes it fails, because sometimes the technology fails. Like the last time I tried to make the live stream, I had the byte rate improperly set. So the software was sending too much data to YouTube, and that was crashing the connection. But the problem is that I understood that too late, and I had to cancel the live stream. So I was very sad because at first I did not know what the problem was. But we are here again, streaming in 4K 60 frames per second. This is really great. And I can make these amazing designs, and this amazing design requested by my follower Vladimir Gorev. Anyway, so, but well, the bottom of the message is that please help me too. I mean, the channel needs to grow. I need more members. I need more people buying my assets on the Blender market. Or send me any design you need, and obviously as part of my job, you'll have to pay the design. But I need support also, because, well, actually this became my new job after I closed the school, because remember I teach during 17 years. I had the jewelry school here in Mexico, but I closed the school during the pandemic, because basically I was done with teaching. I've taught during so many years, I think, to so many people, and so many grateful people. There were great years. Teaching is a great experience, but after that many years, well, it was not interesting anymore for me as a person. I grew up. Well, I had better things to do than to keep teaching to beginners. That was the main problem. So my new job is 3D modeling and jewelry 3D modeling most of the time, but I also do many type of assets, or furniture also, or assets of many kinds. Okay, anyway, now we need more cuts. There's a small cut right there on the corner. Is it? Yeah, I think, no, that side is flat. It's good. Okay, so this small triangle there has no cuts. Okay, now okay, this is great. We're going to finish this. There's 2 cuts here and 2 cuts right there. So we're almost done. Almost done. This is great, because this is from the side view. Let's make a mesh plane to the view. So I'm even going to be able to finish the entire model here during the live stream. I don't care about the time anymore. I just, let's go and finish this. Okay, let's center this. Center this on Y. Well, not really, in fact. Let's erase this. Okay, I know how to do this. Okay, perfect. Okay, so there's a cut here. So this is a small cut here. So we need a cutter. And like I said, the design of this bead was made by somebody by a very good designer. That's very obvious. Now, extrude on the y-axis. Let's do an SY0. Now this I need to center. So global, alt 0 on Y, and this aligns everybody. Okay, now this is going to be tricky. I think I can do this with control. Now let's make a shift D, and I need on the y-axis out, and I need this to be positive. Okay, now let's do an SY -1. Let's try again. SY -1. Perfect. Enter. This inverts the vertices, because it makes a -1 scale. All right. Now here I can make complete the faces, and this is to make a perfect symmetrical shape without using the mirror modifier, because here I don't want to use it. All right, okay, so I have this. Now this is a cutter, so I'm going to take this deeper here and make the same process for the shape of the cutter. Okay, so earlier I was trying to explain my new professional situation, and that sometimes I do help my subscribers. Okay, let's move the cutter to the inside. So this time I'm not doing a shrink wrap, but I'm going to rotate this design and put it there. Okay, so here I can see, can I see? Okay, I can see that this can be bigger because we can be closer to the edges. Okay, like this, SZ. So this can be smaller there. And this is quite nice. SY. Okay, now I need bevel and subdivisions. Level 3 here. Okay, we have this. I can make this a bit bigger. Let's see again. Okay, now basically I have the same cutter. So Shift A, Shift D, Z. I have the same cutter right there, but with different proportions and coming right to the edge of the stone. So let's make an S. Yeah, let's make it like that. Okay, yeah, I'm making this is a gold bead, a gold bead. So it's hollow because it's a bead. So basically, let's go to the internet. Gold bead. The gold beads are small components like let's find a gold bead. Well, like these. This is a gold bead. This is just a sphere. But a subscriber sent me a nicer design of a very like a bead like this one, we could say, with a lot more of design on the bead. So the bead has cuts. So I'm making cutters. Now I'm just making the cutters to carve these shapes on the bead. And this bead is yellow gold and black enamel with some black diamonds and prongs there. That's what I'm doing today. It was requested by one of my subscribers. Okay, so let's keep on. And I'm almost done, so I'm very happy because I will be able to complete the design entirely during this stream. This is great because this design is not very simple. It's very interesting. It's a very interesting design, and that's why I agreed to do it on the channel for free, obviously. I can explain earlier, but I'm not good talking about money, I guess. Or okay, let's take this SY to make this smoother. Okay, so I have this. Oh, and this is great because these cutters, they can have a mirror on the Z-axis and on the Y-axis. I know, X and Z. Okay, each side. This is great. Great. So we just need a remesh now, and now we can test the Boolean for the cutters right here. Okay, vast difference from these cutters. And then I have an idea. Yeah, this is great. We're almost done here. Almost done, almost done. The last straight line to the winning goal. We need to make some cuts. Okay, this is nice. Okay, the only difference, what I need to change is that the cutter here needs to be bigger on that side. That's about it. Okay, so let's correct. Let's remove this boolean for a second, and I need to adapt, I think, the depth and okay, just some corrections. Okay, I need the bead. Check the distance. Okay, this one is too. Okay, this goes too far. This is not good. I still need some thickness on at the bottom. With the bottom, the inside is right there where the 3D cursor is. So I need some distance. Don't be too crazy about the weight. We still need some thickness. Okay, here. And the difference I noticed also is that I need more thickness here. This cutter needs to come like this. SY. Okay, so now let's work again like this and like this. So I select each side to keep the symmetry at work. Okay, now these cutters, they're ready. So I can join these cutters with all the other cutters. Let's make a Control J because they're done. They're ready, and I can add them to the entire group of cutters. This helps me with the booleans because I get only one set of cutters making all the cuts. Okay. But wait, no, here I can't do that. Wait a second. Let me explain you why I can't do that. No, this time I need to keep this group separate because this group has another type of mirror. Yep, this axis is different, so I need to keep these cutters separate. So I will need another boolean on the bead, but that's all right. That's very normal. I mean, it's not complicated at all. We have. Okay, let's undo that. Can we still undo? Yeah, it's undoing. That's why it's taking a bit of time to undo because it's okay. Now we're good. Now we're good. But anyway, I need still some correction on these guys. So what I was saying is that I need to keep this group separate. And also I need this wider. This needs to come very close to the edge, to the yellow gold edge. Okay, so I need this to be wider. I mean a lot wider. And also I need this to come further. Okay, so this, no, let's undo that. This is going to be ugly if I do it like that. I need these two levels to go lower, and this one also. Okay, this is great. Great, great, great. Okay, and now there's something amazing that I can do is that I'm going to copy these. I'm going to rotate 90 degrees there. I'm going to change the axis of the mirror because now I need Y also, but not, no, sorry, not on the Z. I need X and Y. And I need 0 on Z, and we have very similar cutters on this side. Well, basically they are the same. So the only thing I need is a different type of rotation, because that zone is rounder. Okay, so let's go to edit mode, R on the Z axis, and let's lower this. Okay, and let's put this into place. Let's make an SZ. They're very similar cutters, so I can use the same, and that's why this is great, because that's why I noticed that the finishing this design was going to be a bit faster, because these cutters are the same. So, well, it's just one set of cutters that I can use again, because all the other cutters, they had customized shapes, so I had to design them one by one, but these are the same, so this is great. Okay, we have this and that. So now I just need to take the bead and make the booleans. Okay, here I need to have a look at the voxel size and the subdivision. Who gets the subdivision here and there? Okay, the voxel size needs to be a lot smaller. Let's go at 0.03. This is a lot smoother. Now I need to complete the booleans on these sets of cutters. So boolean. So there are some, well, already quite many booleans on the bead, but because the topology of my objects is very clean, there are no problems making that many booleans on the object. So this was with this one. So see, the boolean comes out very clean. If you don't like the intersection right there, this is just because of the remeshing voxel. And if you put the voxel size to something even smaller, you can also have very clean intersections. But at this scale, this is already okay, because we're talking not even 1 millimeter. This zone has maybe 1 decimal, or even less maybe. So it's not a problem. The only thing that is a bit annoying is that when you have that many booleans on an object, obviously, well, Blender becomes a bit slower. Well, your computer just becomes a bit slower, because all that goes on the CPU each time you need to edit the object, move an object, or anything like that. So that's why you want to do that in a very organized way, so that once you're doing the booleans, you don't have to edit anything anymore. Okay, well, now we just need the side decoration, the secondary decorations for these guys there, and we're done. And this design honestly is amazing. Amazing. And that's why I agreed to make it on the channel, because the request was really original. Difficult also. This bead is not simple at all to model, and it was a great idea to make this with Blender by example, right? So that's why I agreed to do that. Otherwise, we would not be here today. Okay, so we just need a copy of this, and let's go to, let's go to edit mode. I just need one vertex here, Control I delete, and let's start making this decoration. And here I think I'm going to follow my design here. That's slightly different, because on the original bead the cuts go exactly to the edge. Obviously I can do that, but it would be even slower, because I would need one grade of precision more, and it gets boring. Honestly, I prefer to make something very nice, and the precision, it's when people are paying. If I'm not getting paid, it's like, let's make the model, but let's make it like very nice but quicker. I'm very bad at explaining my philosophy, I guess. Well, anyway, okay, we have this. Oh, this is funny. I had two vertices selected. That's wrong. Okay, who's with me there? Okay, I think. Okay, now I need to. Okay, let's take all the vertices. Let's make an extrusion on the y-axis, and okay, here I'm just going to adapt the distances on the y-axis. This is very simple to do. It looks very nice, and it's a lot quicker than making all the facets by hand. I just need to clean the thickness by moving each vertex closer to its sister vertex on the other side, and adapt the shape here. All right. So, and also on the original, this zone is closed to the yellow part. Okay, but well, I prefer adapting the design very slightly to what I think looks even a bit just a bit better or edgier. Because like I said at the beginning, the design of this bead, the person who designed this bead is really a great designer. You don't see that type of beads every day. It's a smart design, and it's quite modern. It's really a contemporary design. And also it mixes something that I like a lot. It has some Gothic elements in the shapes, and exactly in these secondary decorations. This is a very Gothic finish, and that's very interesting on a design perspective. So yes, that's what I love about my job. I'm very hard to convince, because I see so much jewelry each day, and I've seen jewelry and manufactured jewelry during 20 years, and I worked with so many students that were doing so many interesting things, or new things, or boring things also, that it's very hard to convince me. When you show me a jewel, generally I'm going to tell you, this is just like everyday normal crap jewelry. And for me, that's much jewelry. Even the famous brands, some of the, actually we could do some show about I don't know, somebody sends me a brand, a review. They want me to review a jewel, and most of the time I'm going to crush the designer and the jeweler, because I'm going to show you all the mistakes that were made on the design side and on the manufacturing side. And it's, yeah, I don't know if if that would be that pleasing. I mean, I prefer to help people instead of criticizing people and crushing people doing their work as good as they can. But because many people are not properly trained as the jewelry designer or jewelers, but they're out there making jewels well, as good as they can, but they should not. They should just change job. And well, we could do maybe a yeah, we could maybe do a program about that. Okay, this I would like to come a bit higher. Okay, and a bit more on the inside, I guess. But I mean, designing jewels is really easy. Designing jewel is the easy part of our job. I mean, anybody can design a jewel or pretend that they design jewel. It's that easy that too many people pretend that they're jewelry designers, like I've said in many videos. But yeah, I have to say that more, because too many people just pretend to be jewelry designers and they don't know anything about jewelry design and jewelry making. Anyway, okay, we have this, and now we need exactly the same. Okay, let's copy this. Let's go here. Let's do, I'm going to adapt the entire design to this side because it's not the same proportion. Okay, so we have this, and let's move it, and let's make the extrusion. Okay, anyway, so yeah, many supposed jewelry designers, they really deserve, they totally deserve to be totally crushed, because they do crap and a half, or they do total crap, because they're just pretending to be jewelry designers. I mean, Nicole Richie, Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, or people like that worked supposedly as jewelry designers. I mean, come on, these people, they don't know anything about jewelry. It's not because you use jewelry that you know something about jewelry. That's a mistake that nobody should make. I mean, it's not because you drive a car that you know something about mechanic. It's so obvious. I don't know why people think that because they own jewel, it's not because that you own jewels, that you wear jewelry every day, that you look at jewels in fancy vitrines in Paris or New York, that you know anything about jewelry design. You don't. You simply you don't. So don't pretend that you do, because you don't. I mean, some people are just lame. Anyway, it's not because yeah, or it's not because you eat every day that you know how to cook. But I don't know why people still want to pretend that they know things about jewelry design, because whatever. You need to study for years to be a jewelry designer. And you need to be a jeweler first. That's super obvious. So stop trying to be supposedly or posers. Nobody likes posers. If you're going to design jewels, you need to study jewelry making, you need to study art, you need to study design, the design history, the tendencies, all the art history epochs or eras, yeah, eras, and also the design eras and influences and culture, because much of what we do come from other cultures, and you need to study. Okay, so it's not just that easy to become a jewelry designer. Okay, so stop pretending. It's something that needs years and years of study if you want to survive, because also, I mean, there are not that many jewelry designers that can say, I live from jewelry designing. Most of them, they have, it's not their day job. They have very nice portfolios, maybe, but they don't live from jewelry design at all. They do whatever, I don't know what else they do, but they do something else. That's obvious, because there are not so many available. Yeah, we need to be honest. There are not so many available positions requesting jewelry designers around the world. It's not a very common job position that you can get out there. It's It's not something that people need that much. There are not that many manufacturers or brands that really need designers. Most of the biggest brand, they have 2 or 3 designers for the entire brand. So it's obvious that it's not that easy. Okay, here I'm going to change something that this, I'm going to make it simple, SX0, and I'm going to center it here, and now I'm going to change this again. I don't know, sorry. Okay, yeah, so people need to be more aware that to be a jewelry designer and really live from jewelry design, that's something that rarely happens. Yeah, like what I was saying, there are not that many positions around the world. Ah, okay, look at this. Here, there's a Boolean problem. See this happening here? So what we're going to do is that we need an exact difference. Might be a bit slower because it's on the first set of cutters, I think. Because this is coming out as solid right here. But anyway, the subject was just to end. Actually, I'm going to end the stream in like 10 minutes. Okay, still needs another exact. Otherwise, I need to join all the cutters because we have a Boolean rebellion, the rebellion of the Booleans. This is something that happens quite often. The rebellion of the Booleans. They don't want to. Okay, so this one doesn't want to go. So I need to make something just a bit different. So let's remove this one. We have a Boolean failure. That's the rebellion I'm talking about. This is coming out as solid, and it comes from this block of. Ah, I know why. It's because of the remeshing. Okay, I need to change. So the fast option, fast and exact, sometimes make a difference. Sometimes they don't. Here it's not working. What I need is that this. Okay, so this comes very, very probably from the resolution. Okay, 0.1. Okay, let's go at 0.09. When you change the remeshing and the topology of your mesh, that's going to affect the Boolean. It can be worse, it can be better. You never know. And obviously, if you put more topology, okay, this is great. Now this rebellion is about to end. I still need the second cut of the other cutters on the side, the last one I made. Yeah, so anyway, so people know that they need to be aware that there are not that many open positions for designing, and much of the time they hire people that are graphic designers or industrial designers that don't really have a proper. Yet again, I was aware, and I'm aware that most of the time people don't hire jewelry designers. They don't hire jewelry designers. They hire graphical designers or industrial designers. And that's a shame. That's sad. That's a mistake. It is. It is. It's a huge mistake in the industry. They're not hiring the correct people. But also, as a teacher and as a retired teacher and school director that I was, I can tell you that it's like that because people don't need really much jewelry designers. They need jewelers to manufacture the jewels, because most of the time the problem is that they don't find properly trained jewelers, and they need jewelers. That's where the money is. That's where the hard work is for many people. So sadly, it's not very useful to become a jewelry designer. It's not even a job, almost. It's not even a job, in fact. Because, by example, I'm a jewelry designer because I create 3D models, but for my brand, for my atelier, for my manufacturer, and I design my own jewels for my private clients, but also I'm a 3D modeler for other clients, and that makes that my job is a 3D modeler. That's my job now. And obviously it's jewelry, but and it involves jewelry design, but I make jewelry design for my brand, for my clients. For the 3D modeling clients, it's not like this one. This is a request from a follower, but I'm not designing this jewel. This is made from a reference image. So obviously I am adapting the design to correct proportion and jewelry manufacturing proportions, but I'm okay, 2 and 3. Okay, just one cut and we're done. Cutter number 3 and this design will be complete. But anyway, so yeah, people need to be aware that to really be a jewelry designer, it's and also exactly determine what's your job as a jewelry designer and get the proper training for that is very complicated. It's very complicated all around the world because uh, mostly people need jewelers. They need jewelers because the money is to manufacture the jewel and to sell the jewel. That's where you make money. Jewelry design per se doesn't, well, sometimes, but if you're a jewelry drawing, a technical, if you make jewelry technical drawings, there you can make money and pretty good money if you're good. Or also if you're a good jewelry drawing artist, there you can get famous also and make very pretty designs and drawings. But drawings, the product of the jewelry designer in that case are drawings, very pretty gouache drawings, the paintings, when you paint the drawing of the jewel and you work for famous brands and you're very good as an artist, you are going to get paid because you're very talented. But also these positions are very rare and you need to be very, very, very talented. All right, this is completed, my friends and subscribers. We are done. This is an amazing black enamel, black diamonds, and yellow gold bead. It's hollow and it's just amazing. So, well, this is the end of the stream. Today I streamed for 3 hours and a half. Oh, this is quite good. This is quite good. And I think, well, the result is very pleasing, very interesting, technically a very good level of design, of jewelry design, of 3D modeling also level. Look at this bead. It's a bit alien also. I love it because it mixes like Gothic references, alien, science fiction shapes, and the cuts are just amazing. And this bead is very, very easily manufacturable because it only has 4 gemstones. This is not even so hard to manufacture. Well, the polishing on this jewel is really hard. This is true. The polishing of this jewel is complex, yes. But otherwise, the rest is really, really nice. So maybe I will be 3D printing this just because there's always people doubting that this is hard to manufacture. But this design is amazing. Gothic, science fiction, alien shapes, the cuts, to materials, because this might very well be done as white gold and yellow gold, and this is great. All right, so thanks for joining today. It's the first time that I was able to start early on a Saturday, and it will be a more normal thing. I will try to make normally I will start the streams like at 11 or 12 o'clock in the morning, not at night anymore, because at night there are not that many people on the channel. So I'll be here earlier. And well, I hope you enjoyed this 3D jewelry modeling session with Blender 3.2. My name is Damien Rohrbach. Become members of the channel, buy my assets on the Blender market, support me with super thanks and super chats, and take care. Be nice to people, be nice to animals, be nice to the planet. Take care and see you soon.